Anchor your seat here, rooting through the hips, lifting through the heart, and then just dropping the chin very softly, gazing off the tip of the nose. So the gaze just kind of falls off the tip of the nose to the earth. You're not looking at anything in particular. So allow the gaze to be very soft, unfocused, panoramic. Beautiful. And we'll just take 3 deep breaths to open up our practice this morning. Maybe you take it with the arms. Maybe you just leave the arms all the way down, breathing in, full, wide, and deep. And exhale, gently drawing the navel towards the spine. 2 more times. Breathing in, ground through the feet. Lift the ceiling of the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. See if you can really fill the chest, fill the upper abdomen. Keep the soft, subtle engagement of the lower belly. Uddiyana Bandha, drawing back with the lower belly as if you're scooping out the inside of the sacral bone. And one more time. Beautiful. Let's interlace the fingers. So at the end of the exhalation, interlace the fingers. Take the hands to the heart, and we'll just very gently press out through the ball of the hand, and then see if you can extend through the heel of the hand, a little wrist action here. Gently pulling up on the elbow. You can go down here too, that works. You can just watch out for pulling on the shoulders and the upper back, right? So you want to keep that sense of lift in the chest. Keep sliding here, but lift in the chest. Good. And the drawing back of the rib cage. Nice. And the abdomen, lifting the heart. We'll take another deep breath in. See if you can breathe into the back here. So I'm doing like a little cat stretch. Just kind of rounding or broadening the upper back without hunching the shoulders. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine, and you can either keep extending the arms out in front of you or bring the arms overhead. So this is just, again, a little shoulder stretch. So just, again, be very conscious of the shoulders. I'm pressing up through the ball of the hand, stretching through the heel of the hand, lifting through the sides of the body, finding length through the side body, and gently release. Exhale the arms all the way down into your lap. Beautiful. Circle out the wrists a few times. Just kind of keeping the interlace of the fingers, just circling out those wrists. Nice. We'll switch the interlace of the fingers. Inhale. Exhale, press out through the ball of the hand, extend through the heel of the hand, drop or press the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, lift the heart. We'll breathe in. Mula Bandha, breathing into the back body a little bit, broadening the shoulder blades. Exhale, navel to spine, rib cage draws in, and maybe the arms extend up, lift. Watch the rib cage popping. So pull those lower ribs in. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the pelvis. Find length through the side body. Again, the arms can be down in your lap, right? We're just trying to get a little bit of a stretch through the heel of the hand, the wrist, the underside of the wrist, and the shoulders. And gently release. And again, gently circle out the wrists here. Good. You can shake out the hands a little bit. Good. Nice. And we're going to take a little bit of a stretch. So I'm going to take, so a couple options here. Take the right palm. Let's take the right palm, left hand on top of right, and we're going to take the hand, and you can either place it on the leg, right, or the floor in front of you if you're kneeling. It's really hard to do this, I think, unless you have a ton of flexibility in the wrist. So you can also just take the ball of the hand and the fingers, point down, extend through the heel of the hand. So I'm just using one hand to support the extension of the other. Beautiful. Breathe in. See if you can really pull up on the elbow. And then press out through the heel of the hand. I'm holding the ball of the hand too, so it's not just the fingers. Good. And take the arm back in. Whew. Other side. Left palm face up. Take the right hand to the ball of the hand, so the root base of the fingers and fingers, and draw down. extending the heel of the hand. Again, if you have the option to, you can take it to the floor right in front of you if you're kneeling. You can take it to your thigh. For a lot of us, it's not going to be, this is going to be really challenging, but it gives you just a little bit of an edge. Good. Otherwise, extending through the heel of the hand, soften and drop the shoulder. Again, to your degree, right? See if you can bring the thumbs in the direction of the fingers. One more breath. Beautiful. Exhale. And release. We're going to do the opposite now. We're going to stretch the top of the wrist. So I'm taking left hand to the knuckles, the top of the knuckles, right? And then I'm going to press the fingers down. Good. And extend out through the heel of the hand, heel of the hand, and then, or the back of the hand, back of the wrist, if you will, sorry, heel of the hand, back of the wrist, and pull up on the elbow. Breathe in. And again, you might be able to take the back of the hand to your thigh or the floor in front of you and press down on the top of the hand, gently plucking up on the elbow. Breathe in. Breathe into that stretch. This is pretty intense. You get that forearm, really great for those of us who are working a lot with the hands. Yeah. And release. Other side. So take that left hand. So we're going to flex the wrist, dorsiflex, plantar flex the wrist. Take the fingers pointing down, right? And take the other hand to the knuckles and gently press. Extend those elbows. The elbow, sorry, left elbow. You can take the hand to the thigh, in which case I'm now pressing through the palm of the hand, the heel of the hand, to the extent possible, pull up on the elbow. Beautiful. And breathe. You're going to feel that stretch in the forearm. I think anyone who's been shoveling snow this winter, you're going to feel this. Gently lift. So these are excellent stretches for elbow tendonitis, whether it's tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. Gently release. Good. Shake it out. Really nice. Let's take a deep breath in, rising up through the crown of the head, grounding through your seat, whatever that may be, right? And draw the navel, draw the rib cage back. We'll take a little twist over to the right. Breathing in. So left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Watch the shoulder. Good. Just kind of warming up the spine. Come back to center. Good. Inhale. Draw the navel to the spine, and we'll take a little twist over to the left, the other side. So again, you're turning from the tailbone. Think of turning from the tailbone. Make sure that the pelvis isn't sliding. We really want to lift and really kind of get into the abdomen, the waist, where the rib cage is revolving relative, right, is turning relative to the pelvis. Good. Finding rotation around the axis of the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Navel to spine. Just consciously inhabiting the body, come back to center. Good. Let's bring that right knee up towards the chest. We're going to bring the right knee to the chest. So those of you sitting down, right, feel free to just kind of lean back a little bit. You can all lean back a little bit so that you're finding a little bit of, you're shifting the weight just behind the sits bones and bringing that right knee into the chest. Beautiful, right? Contract and draw the lower ribs into the body. We're kind of harnessing that abdominal energy, and gently release. Try not to use the shoulders. And then the other side. So bringing that left knee into the chest. So I'm leaning back a little bit, just bringing the left knee into the chest. Good. Relax the shoulders, right? If you can, you're pulling the knee into the chest. Good. Without using the arms too much. And then maybe both knees can come into the chest. I've got it back to my chair, but make sure you don't fall off of anything. So breathing in. Good. Exhale, contract, contract, and squeeze. One more deep breath in. Good. Exhale, drawing in. And let's lower the feet all the way down to the floor. Really nice. So we're going to start by taking the right foot and placing it on top of the left knee. So the right outer heel between the ankle bone and the heel. You want to support the joint, so that's going to rest on top of that left thigh. Right foot cross on top or in front if you're on the floor. Good. And we're going to come into a little forward bend. So the forward bend, right, we want to make sure that the sacrum is angling away from the back of the seat of the chair or the floor. as we come forward, and you're going to lift and draw into the abdomen. Contract the rib cage. Breathing in, right? So this standing foot, right, or the leg in front of you is anchoring, is helping to support the weight. I like to have support for the back body, like a tripod position. So either the arms come out in front of you. You can also rest that left elbow on the right heel, inner heel, left elbow, and then the right elbow on that right thigh. Take a deep breath in. Beautiful. Exhale, gaze off the tip of the nose, but the head stays above the level of the heart. Good. And we can take another variation where you come forward just a little tiny bit more. This is going to get you into the hip. You have the option of bringing that right arm through the window of the right leg. Good. And reaching towards the floor, or finding a little bit more extension in the spine and taking the arm to the outside. So this just means walking the hands a little further out in front of you. I'm hooking the right toes around the arm if you're coming forward. Breathing in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Gazing off the tip of the nose. See if you can breathe into the sensation in that right hip. So we're not forcing, we're not straining. Good, we're just meeting our edge and breathing. Beautiful. Step into this front heel. Inhale, take a breath, lift the heart. Exhale, draw the navel to spine, and now gently make your way back up to an upright position, and we'll stretch that right leg in front of us, pressing the right thigh down, either down into the floor or into your hands. Good. Press out through the ball of the foot, stretch out through the toes, navel to spine, and come back. So let's ground the feet, heels right under the knees. If you're crossing the legs, you're crossing the legs. Good. We're going to take that left foot this time and take it over the right thigh. Nice. And gently roll that left foot on right thigh, and roll that left hip open. Take a deep breath in. So same thing, right? We're going to evert, roll the sole side of the ball of the foot towards the ceiling. Nice. Draw the navel towards the spine and start to come forward. Make sure you're not twisting the ankle, right? So you want some support for the ankle so that you're not straining the knee, and feel free to support that left knee as needed. Breathing in. Good. Exhale. Coming forward, and again, right elbow to the top foot, left elbow to the thigh, not to the knee directly. This is what's going to create, right, a little bit of space in the hip, sort of as if you're creating, you're kind of scooping out the whole left side of your pelvis. Creates a nice stretch for that lower back. You're really kind of getting deep into the body here with the iliopsoas, this polyarticular muscle. And we'll take a couple of breaths. If you want to find a little more extension, you can find a little more extension. Again, if you're coming forward and down, try not to pull on the neck and shoulders. See if you can really lift and draw into the abdomen, contract through the ribs, right? To really find the stretch in the back body, you've got to activate the front body. So I'm stepping into that standing heel, feeling into that left hip, breathing in. What happens if I engage the abdomen here but soften the outer edges of my body, notably that left hip? Good. Let's take another deep breath in. Navel engaging, rib cage drawing in, contracting the abdomen. Inhale, walk the hands up a little bit. Pause, exhale, draw the navel to spine. Inhale to come to an upright position. Extend that left leg. So I'm going to start by pressing out through the heel. The left leg can extend along the floor if you're sitting down. Pressing into the hands if you're sitting on the chair. Engage the knee, engage the thigh, press out through the ball of the foot. Now stretch out through the toes. Good, and gently release. Really nice. So we're going to now make our way into downward dog. So feel free to cross the legs, roll over the feet, come forward onto hands and knees. So I'll work with the chair. I'm going to do a little cat-cow, and then we'll step into downward facing dog. Move, my friend. Thank you. Good. So we'll just start with the feet about hip distance apart, or the knees. So you might be on your knees, on hands and knees, right? And feel free to soften the knees if you need to get some articulation right in the pelvis. So we're gonna start by taking the weight a little forward, pull up on those arms, and lift the sternum, lift the heart. I'm stretching the hips back a little bit. Exhale, you're gonna step into the heels, whether the knees stay bent or extend. Scoop the tail under, lift the navel, retract the rib cage. Good, and look down between your hands. Beautiful, so really nice rounded back. Inhale, extended spine, cow pose. Gaze off the tip of the nose to release the neck. Exhale, cat pose. Cow and cat. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, step into the heels, lift the navel, draw the lower ribs into the body, scoop the tailbone under. See if you can really billow the back. And then inhale to neutral spine. Now we're gonna extend to downward dog. So tuck your toes if you're on hands and knees. Step your feet back if you're using the chair. And again, hands flat on the chair will help because this will support, right, the broadening of the chest and shoulders. Let the head gently release through the arms. So you're gonna make sure you're not sinking through the shoulders, right? Weight's in the ball of the foot. Good, but you're stretching back through the heels, back through the hips, and finding that same length through the body. So if you need to, feel free to come onto your forearms here, right? So the elbows are underneath the shoulders, and just kind of step the feet back, just a tiny, tiny bit, and find a little tiny bit of extension. So it gives you a little bit more support, right, for the shoulders. You're not straining the shoulders. Not a lot of weight in the arms, which is kind of nice. And you're just really focusing on the breath. Inviting the breath to move, to expand into the back body. So you can exaggerate a little bit. Breathe in and billow the back. As if a sail, the sail of the back, we're catching the wind of the breath. Beautiful. And exhale. You're not sinking, you're stretching. You're extending the hips away from the hands. Breathing in, weights in the ball of the foot. Good, pull up on your kneecaps, embed the kneecap. So lift and embed and exhale. Navel rising, rib cage lifting and stretch. Find some extension, beautiful. Lifting your gaze, we're gonna step or walk the feet to the top of the mat. Good, or to the chair, really nice. Breathing in, exhale, fold. So again, you want to find that tipping forward of the pelvis. If the pelvis is tipping back, you're gonna end up compressing that lower spine. So we want to shift the weight into the ball of the foot. Tip the pelvis forward, step into the heels, firm up the knees, and then lift and draw into the belly. Now engage the abdomen to bow forward, releasing the fingertips or hands to the chair or the floor. So the head is supported by the chair, which is kind of nice. And then inhale, we're gonna root to rise, step into the heels, extend those legs, arms reach high, lift the gaze. Beautiful. And exhale, gather consciousness, the mind, internal speech, and take the seat of experiential intelligence at the heart. Take a deep breath in. Beautiful. Exhale. Do this here. There we go. We'll take the right foot to the seat of the chair. Nice. Breathing in. We're just going to start with a standing version of Marichyasana. So really step into that left heel. Inhale. Good. Bring the navel, bring the rib cage back. You want to make sure you don't feel this compression in the right hip or the sinking into the left hip. So step into your heel, draw into the belly, and then we're going to turn the torso, taking left hand to the outside of that right knee. Good. And again, notice if this hip is hiking up, the right hip is hiking up, and see if you can drop the hip while keeping a firm ground through that standing leg. And then maybe that back arm extends, palm can face out, fingers can reach back. So nice little balancing pose. You want to make sure you're not leaning too far forward. Good. Inhale. Okay, hi, yes, hi Tess. Breathe in. Good, exhale. Nice. And then come back to center. Very nice. We're going to take the hands at the seat of the chair. So here's your hip flexion. we're going to come into hip extension. So for those of you who are working on the floor, right, we're taking Anjaneyasana or lunge. So you can hop your left foot back or take the right foot down to the floor and step and lunge that left leg back. Feel free to work with blocks framing the front foot. Good. So it's kind of like a downward dog, but the right foot's on the seat of the chair. Breathing in, lift your back heel. Exhale, breathing out, we're going to come forward, shift our hips forward. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale, shift your hips back. To the extent that you would like to, you can begin to extend this right leg. Beautiful. Maybe lifting the toes, the ball of the foot off the floor. You're going to get a stretch here in the calves and the hamstring. Good. Inhale, lift your back heel. Exhale, press the hips forward. So you're going to open up the front of your left hip, step into the front heel. Exhale. Draw into the abdomen here. Rib cage retracting, so you've got that stretch in the back. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Beautiful. Exhale. Last one, step into the front heel, dial that right hip back. Good. So you might have the hands on the blocks or the floor, right? And then coming forward into your lunge, you can, those of you who are on the floor, you can lower your back knee to the ground. Those of us who are on the chair, it's going to be a little harder to lower the back knee to the ground, but this is an option of just staying on the ball of the back foot. Let's keep the back leg active. Make sure the hips aren't sliding. So that left hip is dialing forward, step into the front heel. Good. And we're just inviting the hips to release towards the earth with gravity. So consciously, really consciously engage the abdomen here. Good. Try to keep the back leg as straight as possible. So I'm pressing the knee, lifting the kneecap and pressing it into the leg, pressing the thigh towards the flesh of the hamstring. Maybe take the hands to the back of the chair if you can. Good. Maybe interlace the fingers, and the more you can bring up, so we're not popping the rib cage, that won't work, right? You're bringing the rib cage in and lifting. Good. While releasing, again, the key is release. Don't push, don't force. The hips forward and down. This is your front hip stretch on that left side. Really intense. Hands to the seat of the chair or the earth. Step it back to downward facing dog. Or hands and knees or child's pose. Again, finding your version. Engage the kneecaps. Lift the legs. Front of the leg rising. Navel rib cage retracting. Good. Side body lengthening. Head, neck release. One more breath. Lift the heels. Shift the weight forward, walking or stepping, sauntering the feet up to the seat of the chair, to the front of the mat. Breathe in. Exhale. Hinge from the hips. So you want to swivel the pelvis over the head of the thigh bone. That's what it does. And then release the forehead or the head to the chair, fingertips to the floor. Take a breath. Breathe into the back. Beautiful. Exhale. Keep pulling up on the knees, on the thighs, engaging the abdomen. Root to rise, arms to the sky. And exhale. Gather consciousness. Gather the mind. We start to focus, right? The 1,000-headed serpent. 1,000 thoughts into single pointed focus. Gather your speech, internal speech, and take the seat of experiential intelligence. Release the arms. Good. We're going to step the left foot to the seat of the chair this time. Make sure this right heel is right underneath the right hip. So pelvis stacked right over the right leg. Breathing in. You can have a block underneath this right foot if you'd like to. The knees about or just above the level of the hip. Good. Again, make sure your left hip isn't hiking up and you're not sinking into the standing leg, right? That you're really integrating and balancing over that standing leg. We'll take a little twist over to the left this time. Breathe in. Exhale. Navel ribcage retract and find that twist. Extend that left arm if that feels appropriate to do so. Breathe in. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hinge over this left leg. We're going to take the hands to the seat of the chair, to your blocks, to the earth. Good. And bring the front foot, if you're using the chair, the heel to the front of the chair, so you're really pushing down on the front legs of the chair. Lean forward and then hop that right leg back. So we're going to switch to a lunge. Those of you working with the blocks or the mat, your hands are framing the front foot. Take a deep breath in. We're going to lift the back heel, and shift your weight forward. Good. Now finding extension through this front right hip. Inhale, shift your hips back and extend your front leg to your degree. You don't have to straighten the knee, but if you can, pull up on the knee, engage the knee. Good, maybe flex for a little bit more hamstring stretch. So just forward and back a few times. With the breath, exhale. Inhale. So really engage the abdomen here, really important to support the stretch in the back. The release in the left hamstrings. Inhale, weight forward one more time. So the hips are moving towards the chair to really find that extension through the front of the hip. Good. And take that left hip back. Inhale to come forward. This time we're going to stay in the lunge. If you would like to, you can lower that back knee towards the floor. So releasing the hips with gravity. Good. The key here is to, if you're going to straighten the leg, really engage the knee to the extent that you're able to pull up on the kneecap, embed the knee, right, the kneecap, and then start to find a little bit of height with the chest, with the heart. Try not to let this right hip slip back or the left hip slip forward. See if you can keep that squareness, firm up the back leg, step into the front heel, interlace the fingers. Good, and then find that lift in the heart. I'm bringing the navel and the rib cage back a little bit. As I lift the heart, I'm releasing the hips towards the seat of the chair or the earth. Keep the back leg super strong. You're going to really start to feel that. This is really the namesake of pigeon, right? One more breath. Heart goes up, hips soften down. Release the hands to the seat of the chair. Step it back to downward facing dog. Child's pose. Good, breathing in. Good, breathing out. Very nice. So now we're going to take the gaze forward, walk, step, saunter the feet back up to the front of the chair. Nice. Inhale, extended forward bend. Exhale, fold. So let's come into Uttanasana, our forward bend. Again, the head can come to the chair. Fingers can release towards the earth. Lift the kneecaps. Lift the thighs. Lift the navel. Retract the ribs. And we'll root to rise. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. This time, release the arms by your sides. Exhale. Very nice. So we're going to take the right leg forward into hip opening. So those of you who want to work, you can take a vinyasa to downward dog. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Either float back, lunge back, maybe lower to chaturanga, up dog, down dog. And we're going to take the right foot. So take the right foot to the left side, right, of the seat of the chair. And we're going to come forward, good, and start to bend the knee towards the back right corner of the chair. So as you shift your weight forward, I've got nice support with the arms here. I'm going to take the right foot towards my left thigh so I can place that right shin bone on the chair and lunge my left leg back. So my chair slides. If you need to put something on the chair that allows you to slide a little bit, so my right knee can slide towards the right corner, back corner of the chair. And my right foot is right in my left front hip. So my ankle is supported by the chair, but the foot's kind of dangling off. You might, if the chair's broader, you might find that the foot's on the chair. I'm going to keep the back knee up off the ground. Tuck the toes, keep the toes flexed. We want to activate the back leg to begin with. If this doesn't work for the knee, I'm going to have you do something slightly different. So those of you working into pigeon pose really activate the back leg, but you can take, this is another option, right, which is really nice if you need to come off the arms as well. Just take that right foot and slide the right foot down towards the left hip, right? So this is actually a half lotus position. So my left leg is supported by the chair instead of behind me, and the right leg is in this half lotus position, and you can start to get a really nice stretch here in the psoas. So the foot is sliding down towards that left hip. If you would like to, you can now bring that left knee into the chest, right? So play around on the floor, those of you working on the ground, and those of us working into pigeon pose. Good. We're going to take the hands either to the right. So again, make sure the right hip isn't sliding forward and the left hip back. Stay on the ball of the back foot. The back leg internally rotating is really important so the hips are square. This might be your posture. Extending the back leg and just really getting into this gluteal area on the right side. Hands under the shoulders, elbows under the shoulders. We're going to start up and then come down. So breathing in, extend your back leg, heel extending, knee lifting and pulling into, embedding in the leg. And then keep dialing that left hip forward, right hip back as you take the hands either to the back of the chair, or you can take it right into the crease of this right hip and the heel of that right foot. Take a breath. Okay. Exhale. Inhale. Keep the back leg strong. Exhale. Now come forward. So again, we have options, right, where you can bring the elbows to the seat of the chair in front of you. You can also just take the arms to the back of the chair, rest the head. Breathe in. We're just going to take a couple of breaths here. Keep the back leg active. If you'd like to, you can stretch out the toes, but see if you can keep activity in the back leg. So you have this really lovely stretch in the right hip, opening through the left body. Hi. Yes. Hello. 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 Yes. Yes. Inhale. We're going to walk the hands back in. Lift the heart. Exhale. Draw into the abdomen. And let's release the right leg back. Step into downward dog. Anyone who's on the ground. Good. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And we'll shift the weight forward, walking the feet towards the seat of the chair. We're going to take another forward fold. Good. Exhale, bow. Good. Releasing hands to the earth, folding in. Inhale, rise, root to rise, arms to the sky. Arms by your sides, exhale. Take a breath. And this time we're going to take that left foot to the seat of the chair. Take the left foot over towards the right side of the chair. So we're going to take the foot across the body and let the thigh roll open. Beautiful. So this gives us the setup. So allowing, right, bringing that left knee towards the back left corner of the chair. So make sure you're really grounding the seat of the chair. I'm going to slide the left foot off as I take that left shin bone to the seat of the chair. Try to slide that left knee forward as you take that right leg back. Hands are supporting. Breathe in. Exhale. Shh. What's going on? What's going on? Inhale. Extend that back leg. Embed the kneecap. Press out through the right heel. So you want the right hip to be dialing forward, the left hip to be dialing back. We're going to start with extension. Good. We're just going to start with the namesake of the pose, pigeon, right? This kind of rolling open of the heart. You want to make sure you're not popping the rib cage and cranking into the kidneys. So pull the ribs back. I'm using the hands either on the seat of the chair, blocks, fingertips, hands to the back of the chair to support the lift of the heart and really extend that back leg. The back leg is working a lot here. You're going to get that really nice deep opening through the front of the hip, which is why we did all the other stuff first. Inhale, now come over that front leg, drawing into the belly. So again, We can take the hands to the back of the seat of the chair. Maybe you can take the forearms, let the tailbone fall a little bit here. Good. Take the forearms to the back of the seat of the chair. So my left sitting bone is off the chair, but my left thigh is on the chair. So I've got this stretch in that left hip. Breathe into the stretch, breathe into the sensation. Try not to struggle with whatever's going on. See if you can really just allow yourself to soften into the seat that you've taken. Engage the abdomen. Exhale into the breath. We'll start to walk the hands back in. Inhale. Good. Exhale, lift through the abdomen and step that left leg back. We're going to take our downward facing dog, our hands and knees. Child's pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward position, downward head down. Finding length through the side body. Good, exhale. And one more breath. Exhale. This time, let's walk the feet to the seat of the chair, and we're going to come into a little squat. So we're going to take the feet about mat distance apart. It's kind of nice to have the chair here in front of you. Turn the toes out. So my heels are slightly elevated. I have really tight bound ankles or tight Achilles, or combination of both. So toes turn out slightly, so the knees are going to follow the direction of the toes as I bend the knees and lower the hips. So you want to make sure you stay out of the knees, drop into the heels, and then lower the sits bones, lower the tailbone, so you get that release in the sacral ligaments. And I'm just kind of holding on to, taking the arms to the insides of the knees slightly, or the knees into the back of the armpit, and just holding onto the chair. Not so much, right, that you bring the chair with you, but it might be enough to allow the weight to really settle into the heels of your feet. Good. Breathing in. Exhale, we're going to take the hips all the way down to the earth. Nice. Step those feet in. And we're going to sort of complete our practice this morning with a little navasana. Good. And then just continue with this hip opening, heart opening. So you can take the heels of your feet to the seat of the chair. This is kind of nice. It helps to release the hip flexors, right? But what we're going to do is make sure you're not pulling into the back. See if you can draw the lower ribs in towards each other and then pull them back into the body. Those are some sort of nice transverse abdominal muscles. Good, and reach those arms. Breathe in. We're going to take a few breaths. Exhale. Inhale. All you're going to do is shift your weight back onto the sacrum. Exhale. Bring the navel to the spine. Bring the lower ribs into the body, and see if you can squeeze the torso to your thighs. Inhale. Really subtle, slow movements. Navel, rib cage. See if you can use the abdomen, right, to bring the torso forward. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to take a couple more times. Deep breath in. Subtle, subtle movement. Try not to use the head or neck. Exhale. Last one. Breathe in. Navel, rib cage. You'll feel your abdomen. Good. And now bring the hips a little closer to the front of the chair. And let's lower down nice and slowly to the earth. Hips might be slightly elevated. You can bring the legs to the seat of the chair for a moment. Just release your hip flexors. Beautiful. Good. And we're just going to take that right, some of you may have already done this, but we'll take the right heel to the left thigh, close to the knee, so not all the way down to the hip this time, right? And again, just find this opening through that right hip. Notice if everything is tipping to the right. See if you can keep mental weight in the left side of your pelvis and bring the left knee, direct the left knee towards the left shoulder. So we're working with gravity here to bring a little stretch into the right hip. Exhale. I'm just taking you can take the arm, right arm through the window of the leg, interlace the fingers on that left shin bone. Good, high up on the shin. You can also take it a little lower on the ankle if that feels appropriate, but it is going to compress the knee a little. Keep directing the left knee towards the left shoulder. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the neck free, head resting on the floor. So we don't have to bring any tension to the head or neck, head or shoulders, upper back. Just really engaging the abdomen here, releasing through the hips. Really nice. I'm going to lower the left foot to the floor and just kind of guide that left knee over to the right. So we're going to come into a little bit of a twist here, finding some length through the whole left side of the body. I'm using this right foot to draw the left leg into internal rotation. So we get a little bit of a stretch here in the back of the hip and the side, the IT band, right? So from outer hip all the way to the outer left shin bone, just below the knee. Breathing in. As you breathe out, bring the navel, bring the rib cage back into the body. So really kind of centering. And then you can very gently bring yourself back up to an upright position. Stretch the right leg to the sky. Good. Maybe stretch through the ball of the foot. Now stretch through the toes. Nice. The right leg is going to release to the seat of the chair. The left leg is going to draw in towards the chest. Very nice. Now take that left heel, outer heel to right thigh. Good. And start to bring that right knee. You can just keep the right leg on the chair if that feels appropriate to you. And just kind of play around with the balance across the sacrum. Notice if everything's going to the left. And see if you kind of stay weighted to the right sacrum. What does it take without moving your body too much? See if you can really place the mind in the right side of the sacrum. Bring the right knee, gently draw the right knee towards the right shoulder. This is going to give you a little stretch in that left gluteal area, left outer hip. Maybe even the outer thigh a little bit. Exhale, maybe the arm comes through the window of the left leg, maybe comes over. It may depend on the degree of mobility in the joint and rotation. Good. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And we're going to lower that right foot to the floor. Beautiful. And then just use that left foot to guide the right leg into internal rotation. So you don't want to push on the knee. I've got the heel above the knee on the thigh, so it's internal rotation. I want to feel like I'm broadening the whole right side of the back of the hip. Good, and you're going to get the stretch from the outer hip to the outer calf below the knee. Good. Take a deep breath in, make sure the rib cage isn't popping. See if you can draw the navel, draw the rib cage into the body. So the torso, the shoulders are rolling to the right as the pelvis is rolling to the left. Good. This is almost a restorative twist. Good. Take a deep breath in. I'm pressing into the inner heel of the back foot to support and protect the knee. So the back foot is flexed, active to support the knee joint. Good. You can also just take that left foot to the floor without any weight on the leg. That works as well. Let's inhale. So exhale, empty the breath. Inhale, bring the knees back up. Very lovely. Exhale, fold both knees into the chest and give yourself a nice hug, wrapping the arms around the legs. Let's rock from side to side. Good. Rotate through the lower back. You can circle the knees, hands to kneecaps, circle the knees. First in one direction and then the other direction. Very lovely. Good. And then when you're ready to do so, just kind of bring the legs to the seat of the chair. So you might scooch a little further forward. Let the little toes release out to the sides. Good. I have a back to the chair so my legs aren't going to fall off. But if you need to, you can also take a strap or a belt and then wrap it around your just above the knee joint, right? the thighs. So the thighs roll open, the hips release. This will create a little bit of energy flow through the delta of the pelvis. We're grounding the sacrum, inviting the shoulders and the head to release, and just taking the arms by your sides in a comfortable position, right? Palms face up towards the sky, close the eyes. Ground your body, release your breath. Good. Release any conscious control of the breathing. So your breath returns to its normal or natural flow, natural coming and going. The mind begins to fold in upon the body, into single pointed focus, ekagrata, that then dissolves, almost like an unfocused but expanded state of awareness, without letting the attention hyper-focus on any one particular thing or become so distracted that we pull ourselves out. So we're just kind of letting ourselves soften in, working towards this, a full emptiness. And when you're ready to do so, you can very gently bring yourselves back in a way that feels appropriate to you. Maybe just tuning into the body, breathing, bringing some soft extension to the fingers, movement to the toes, maybe circling out wrists and ankles. Rolling the thighs in, resting the hands on the hips or the legs or the belly. Gently rolling the head to one side. Don't lift the head, just roll. Bring it back through center and gently let it tip to the other side, ear towards the earth, as if the brain were weighted to one side. Good. And back to center, just slowly. Very lovely. Step or walk the feet in, or take the feet to the seat of the chair. Good, and we'll roll to one side. I'm extending the one arm, the arm to the side I'm rolling so that I have a pillow for my head. And then gently ground with the upper arm. Good, to come up to sitting. And let that vibrational energy just kind of resonate within the body, all the way into the brain. Yeah, thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste. Loka samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere find freedom from pain and suffering. Namaste.